Come here, cutie. I flip him around and I'll work that booty. Work the body, work the body. Slow down, girl. You're about to hurt somebody.
Oh my God, you're
Hold up,
so
yo.
white.
Leave that in. That's the intro bit at the very start.
It's Saturday night. It's 7 p.m. It's now time for Transformers the Show.
Hello, welcome to Transformers the Show, number 65. Tonight, Hasbro Pulse. So much news. The big one being that Titans arc, which we're going to have a look at in a bit, but we'll cover the whole thing. We've got all the other news. We've got some third-party bits, reviews, and discussion at the end. We're going to have a good old chat about the Shattered Glass universe. Thanks for joining us tonight. It is now time for Transformers the Show.
I talked some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Hasbro Pulse FanFest happened today, covering, amongst other things, Fortnite, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe. I'm forgetting one.
A little bit Black Series Star
Marvel,
Wars.
Black Series Star
Black
Wars,
Series.
and
My Little Pony. No.
the most important thing, but no, it wasn't. It was Transformers. And we got more shots and more confirmation of figures that we'd heard of, and one or two that we thought might be coming, but we hadn't actually seen. So, of course, there's the Ark, which is the big news this week, and has already been out this week, but we got some more images.
He looks great. I love him.
And can I just say off the bat that Mark from Hasbro was a legend once again. So if you haven't watched the actual FanFest, go back.
He was a master
watch
of
our
magic,
coverage of
wasn't he?
it. It was it was magical to watch him.
Yeah.
You know, his childlike love of Transformers.
He's
which
like a male
was so much
seductress.
us. He was like a happy Jamie. It was just unbelievable.
The things that were coming out of his beard. Wow.
Oh yeah. A little bit of insider joke, but we'll watch our coverage of that, which is up and available for you to watch. There's the Arc mode. I know some people were moaning about the gaps.
But first
Doesn't
party
bother
will
me
come
at
to our
all.
rescue. They'll put in a little filler thing.
Oh, definitely.
Also, the bit at the back is looks really scaled to be quite large, but the front bit, cockpit bit, looks scaled to be quite small. That's a bit odd. I didn't notice that before.
I think it looks fairly like the actual cartoon animation did. Some people have been saying, oh, it's the front part of the shuttles from Transformers the movie, and it's not. It's really not. You can think that
I'm
if you want,
shaking my
'cause
head to
you're allowed
emphasise
to have
it.
your own opinion, but it's not. It really isn't. It is
We should
the
all
arc from the
shake our
cartoon.
head.
That's not a command deck. That's the command deck that we have down here, and I think that's what kind of can throw you. But I mean, I can't remember the last time I was that excited at seeing a reveal of a figure as I was for this. I was even bugging you lads to let's get on and let's talk about this. But waiting actually probably was a better idea because we got to see some more of it through this FanFest. You get a tiny weeny little Optimus Prime to go up and down the ramp in scale. And then
I'm thinking the core figures will look good next to it as well.
it could do, yeah. I mean, that's what you want really for your display. I mean, the dioramas, which were mentioned in the actual Hasbro Pulse FanFest, the dioramas are fantastic that they use for this. And this is Teletran 1, who transforms into Mainframe, which was, if you can tell us what was Mainframe in G1? He
An
was-
Action Master.
That's right, Jamie. Point to you. And he was the only Action Master I actually ever owned as a kid.
He was the
So,
one that looks a little bit like I know you'll see similarities, like Blackjack, was he? Like he almost like a motorbike helmet? Was he sort of
well,
red
I mean,
and
basically,
yellow?
you see that head there? It was red and blue.
That was it, yeah.
To my memory.
I think someone
And,
did share a picture, didn't they? Yeah. I'm sure when Paul edits this, he can throw a picture of the Action Master in there like he does always.
I love the shake of it. And then, of course, you get a wonderful wardrobe. I mean, Teletran 1 there. And it comes with the Sky Spy satellite accessory as well.
It is like a miniature Teletran 1, though.
Yeah, I mean, it
scale-wise.
is. It's more for your dioramas, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
that is what the whole point of this. I think it's interesting that Hasbro seem to have recognized the desire amongst the grown-up adult fan base for this kind of stuff. You know, I mean, I think if you look at the growth of the photography that we see around Transformers and other toy lines, like Jamie, obviously with your photos and everything, and then the people that we've looked at for years, like 6.0 and Toy Box Soapbox and Maz at TF Square One, you know, all these guys who've been doing this for years, and it all seems.
And they have a
becoming
good
more popular.
podcast out as well, don't they?
They do. The
Yeah.
Triple Takeover podcast, which is well worth a listen, like a sober version of us. And then there was Beast Wars Scorponok, which the Beast Wars fans that I saw talking and commenting on it were really excited about.
Me likey.
Yeah, I like him.
It apparently is very, very it's terrible. It's apparently it's
what?
very screen accurate. I can't really comment
you
because
laughing
I'm
at
not
that?
watched enough of it. I'm just laughing at the fact that I'm an expert on this. I'm not. If you're a Beast Wars fan, I mean, Alexis, you've got quite a few Beast Wars figures, haven't you? I mean, have you got a masterpiece version of this? You don't have to reel off to get it. You can just answer yes or no. Is there
No,
not?
there isn't one. There isn't one. So I've got Air Razor and who's in place for one,
Right.
and then because birds are small anyway, and then I've got the core wrap trap coming as well because why not, right? And then I've ordered this as well for my little boy, obviously. So
Obviously.
You'll never
Yeah.
get to touch it.
You
Shut
never
up.
get to touch it. These aren't for your kids, you liar. Anyway, it does look. I mean, even I think, as I'm not a Beast Wars fan, I can see definitely the appeal of it, and the detail and everything on it. The fact that it is so screen accurate, apparently, to how he looked in the cartoon will also help. And then there was one that came out of left field, so I can't remember the actual specific name of this. It's Optimus Prime, obviously, but this was a special figure that was shown off. Jamie, what can you tell everybody what was so special about this other than the price tag?
The fact it can transform itself, it's voice activated, it's app activated, so you can give direct commands, and it's got is it something like 70 microchips in there? So
I think
do
60 or
different
70,
poses,
wasn't it? Yeah.
power
Should we have
pose,
a
superhero
little
landing
pictures?
pose.
Oh yes. Let's have a look at what it can actually do, or at least some of it.
Here we go.
Thrusting his junk pose, hasn't he? The one where he's just thrusting the hips.
Trust.
I am the leader of the Autobots.
It sounds like him! All right, so you can install an app. You can control via voice. Should we give it a shot?
she's
Transform!
famous.
Oh, you still have your little plastic pieces on your arms. How you doing? I am speechless. Should we give it a shot? Transform!
Repeating again.
Yeah, that's what. Show it again. The end, just the transformation. Just because it was so cool, that transformation, and much bigger than I thought it would be when I saw the photos.
Yeah,
I wasn't
Unless
looking
she's
for
a
book
tiny
collection here.
girl, and she's only like 2 foot tall.
it's 19 inches, so same size as this guy here. Is she famous? Is she like an actress or something? Or
Gwyneth Paltrow. She's been loads.
Gonna
loads.
start
I
sharing
was
again, by the way.
laughing, bro. I was going, Alexis won't be able to be quiet for more than 12 seconds.
Ever.
But
So
have-
yes,
we have
19
seen-
inches
you-
tall. Was it 60 to 70 microchips in it? It responds to something like just 25 different phrases,
Yep.
was it? Or 25 commands? I can't remember.
$699. I saw.
It moves, yeah. Well, this is what we're coming to. It
you think they
moves when it's not doing anything, so it like it's
You think they
breathing,
put
which is a
cap
bit
in
weird.
because of accents, because I guess it might not pick up accents too well.
I'm sure they've thought of that, though. Surely.
They always say that, but if you got a Scottish accent and you try to use a voice commanded lift, you're fucking stuck there for like a week. You know?
And did
I've got no
Jane
sympathy
Silent
for
Bob?
Yes, they did. They did it like it was. It came on, as you'll see if you watch our coverage of it.
They were talking.
Came
wasn't
on
really
as
silent.
like a 10-minute infomercial with Jay and Silent Bob.
He wasn't in character. I was disappointed.
No, but it
Oh.
was. They did seem genuinely chuffed, and of course you can control it from the app yourself, or you can just use voice commands, and then it driving around a billiard table or a pool table.
Yeah, in fact, Simon Bob did most of the talking actually, which is quite
yeah,
quite
because
interesting.
he's not so silent in real life.
No, but we have sort of seen this before. I mean, there's been clips for years of the sort of self-transforming robots. Yeah, there's this one, and I think there's also a almost like what looked like a construction con, wasn't it? Like a scrapper, wasn't there?
Yeah,
as
there
well?
was one which was released,
So-
which was
Oh,
a
we got-
guy's custom project, and then people used it and pretended it
This
was
one
gonna
goes
be
into
something
different poses.
Yeah, you can give it command, so it can go into like the
Yeah.
superhero landing pose, and
Yeah.
I think, was it a dab or something? It
Universe
did.
pose, power
Yeah.
landing
He
pose.
shoots.
I mean,
he's got his
$699. $699 is
It's
a
the
lot
first
of
one, though,
money,
isn't it? It's
but
the
is
first
it-
flat screen TV. If this is what Transformers turn into eventually,
Well, this is it.
it's the first one, isn't it? So if you
No,
want
wait,
the first
first-
flat screen, you're going to pay $6-7 grand, aren't you?
The Pelvic
Well, if you
Thrust is
buy
worth it.
if you buy Teletram, that does transform into a flat screen TV.
Exactly.
But Teletran doesn't do pelvic thrust.
Moving on. Shattered Glass. So Shattered Glass was one of the other reveals. So we kind of already had some leaks about a Shattered Glass, Jetfire and Blur, and we saw Shattered Glass Blur, and there he is. So this is going to be the next line. I suppose it is maybe a bit like a select type thing. They'll come in different packaging. They'll have their own IDW comic books. Each comic is centered on the character that's represented, and the first one that they've revealed is Shattered Glass Blur, and there he is, the evil Autobot Blur.
With an eye patch.
God,
Yeah.
that means that's proper evil.
I
I
mean,
know. He's like,
look at that head sculpt, look at that face.
he's-
Like something
he's
from your
like
nightmares.
blood coming from that eye patch.
Yeah,
That's a detailed head sculpt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really
yeah.
good.
I mean, it does look really good, and the packaging and everything is all very individual and looks really good as well, the colors and everything. Now, I'm not a big fan of Shattered Glass, but I think if some of them, if they're characters that I like, and in the color schemes that, you know, if it appeals to me, I think I will probably pick a few of them up. This one I'm kind of on the fence about. There's a bit of me that likes the look of the, you know, the head sculpt and the eye patch and everything, but then I'm still not a massive fan of this version of Blur. So I don't know. I'm going to have to wait to see. Would any of you? Oh, well, Jamie, I'm going to assume you will. But I mean, is Shattered Glass something that you've ever been particularly bothered about before?
No.
Excellent. Thanks for your input. What about you, Paul? Do you,
Colors.
yeah, that's it. They are lovely colours. I mean, Paul, you've got at least one Shattered Glass type.
Yeah, I've got a few. And to be fair, Studio Series, is it Studio Series? The original
Blur,
one,
yeah.
mold of this Blur?
Yeah.
Looks great. I wasn't that. His face looked a bit.
Derby.
I didn't enjoy his face as much as I should do, but this great face on this one. Quite like this actually. Might pick it up.
And then there's that face sculpt again. It does look pretty cool. And then we had, now we've already seen the Kingdom Rodimus, but we got to see the packaging for it, which does look pretty impressive. I think, is it £85 that's gone up on Hasbro Pulse?
Yes, Hasbro Pulse. So I would presume the other retailers will be selling it for like 75, if not a bit less.
So you might be able to grab it for a slightly more reasonable price. But I mean, it did look good. They showed off the trailer and the storage spaces in the trailer, which might sound a bit strange to say it had storage spaces, but it does. It has little compartments you can put things into for carrying, you know, your accessories and your blast effects and all the rest of it.
And it looks
does look
better
very
transformed there. Did you notice that now?
good. Yeah.
Bit.
It looked better in hand than it does in those photos that we originally saw, definitely. I mean, I'd like to pick it up, and I'm not the biggest Rodimus Prime fan, but yeah, I think I'll be looking to pick it up along the way. We had the Arc reveal of the Arc artwork.
A power thrust there.
Yeah, he is. He's doing a proper thrust.
Yeah.
He's wearing all the clothes. And then the back. Now, we were talking about during the live stream, I think, we were talking about the fact that obviously most of the Titans have had a third mode, but I think just being what it is, it just doesn't. Maybe somebody will come up with one. You know what the fandom's like. They always manage to find a way, but I think just the fact it's the Arc.
I would be keeping it in the Arc personally.
I think if you're doing a diorama, I think it would be good too. Unless we're going to see something in the next cartoon, the Kingdom cartoon, that shows, you know, he does transform. Because are we all agreed? Can't remember if this was confirmed, that it kind of seems to be based on the last Autobot from the final couple of issues of the original G1 comic. Certainly the face and everything looks very much like that.
Yeah, that's an Intrudian type look.
Then we had the box art, for Kingdom Galvatron, and we've got to have him on because now he's a weekly thing. And he looked good again. You know, I think he's worth picking up. It looks like it will hopefully be the Galvatron that we've been waiting for a long time, because we've always just, you know, Always just seemed to miss out on a really good version of Galvatron. Titan's Return had promise, but messed it up with the stupid head gimmick. And then, what is this called, Jamie? Because I can't remember.
Is that Wing Finger or something?
Wing
like that?
Finger, yes, which prompted much mirth from us. Wing Finger.
Oh,
We all enjoy a Wing Finger.
the gift that keeps giving. This is.
He's another one of the fossilizers. And if you like fossilizers, I'm sure you're going to love this. I think it looks derpy as hell. And I would have, I mean, Jesus. I would have, yeah. No
I did
interest
think he
in
had a sort of an Elvish type look to him, maybe with the sort of bow and arrow and the weird headgear.
Orlando Bloom style. That was the actual box that came with that Optimus Prime we saw, the voice-activated Optimus Prime. And it comes with a carry case as well, so you can take it with you.
And it's got RoboSen on that. RoboSen?
Yes.
So that must be a third party.
I'm guessing so, yes.
Company
Like you
they've got
said,
involved.
the transformation of it, when you watch it transform, looks very similar to a video that's been around for years of a robotics company's version that transforms, not of a transformer specifically. But
Andy,
it
you're
looks a lot
right.
like it.
It is. If you look online, it's you probably won't be able to see that in the corner, but it's the same company.
There you go. Rhinox was another one of the ones we got to see, and this has sparked a bit of debate about whether it's just an updated version of the Generations one, but we feel it's not. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah, it had a good look, and it's very similar. But yeah, it looks different. I don't feel like when you look from, I don't know if you'll have the picture, but the Rhino mode just look a bit bulky. Robot mode looks good. Doesn't look as
the Rhino mode, but
Agreed. The Rhino looked like the original, almost like the original toy did. I know they made it look. They said they look realistic and stuff. It just the Rhino didn't seem to pop as much. But I think what
do you think that was the
Paul,
colours a
obviously
little bit
credit
with the
to
lighting on the photos
330s.
as well?
could be the Generations 3 and 31's got got nice curves on it. Honestly, it has. It's got lovely curves. That one.
And then we had Kingdom Tracks. So that's been revealed now. Looks good. Nice car mode. Kind of what you'd expect. Does have the third.
I must admit, I'm not
Line
for
down mode.
clear plastic again. I do wish they would use a different type of plastic.
For the windscreen.
Yeah, I
The
just agree.
translucent plastic sometimes is better when you can't kind of see through it quite as easily to see whatever's inside.
It's not only that. It's just like I feel like it's a breakage ready to happen.
You should
Now-
prepare me for that. I wasn't prepared for Mark. I wasn't prepared.
There is the legend that is Mark. All hail Mark. But that is a repaint, isn't it? Coming out as another character, a repaint of one of the fossilizers we've had. Was it from the core class?
Yeah.
And I can't remember what it's called now. I'm sure there's people.
Well, I can't remember what his name is. Just said translucent green. And I can.
Yeah. But it's like glow, just basically the same toy, but glowing green. And I think they've given it a new name. And I can't remember off the top of my head. And then we had this reveal, which is we had the Centurion drone box that came with all the accessories. And this is the next box set of that type. So instead of coming with a load of accessories and weapons and things like that, this one comes with, I think it said 20 blast effects. And it's another fossilizer in, for me, G1 Predacon-esque colours. And I can't remember what they call this one. Jamie, is it on the Hasbro Pulse website? Do we know what this one is called? Because it was a new character, wasn't it?
It's
There's
called
the-
Innovations War with Cybertron, Tricuranus, Beast Power, Fire Blast Collection Pack.
I mean, I actually, for one of the fossilizers, this one looks better to me. But I still don't know if I'd be that bothered. I mean, you're buying it, I'm imagining, not just for him, but for the blast effects, if you're a massive fan of the blast effects. And there
It's
it
weird
is
that
with
they
his
don't
packaging.
just. It's weird that they don't just sell blast effects. Like, you could buy a blast.
I think they
effect
kind
pack.
of are with this, though. That's
Yeah, I
No,
think
no,
that's kind of
I
the
know,
idea.
I know. Yeah, but I mean, you pay like 15 quid, right? And you get like 30 blast effects, right?
There'll be a
that
third-party company that will do that, though. They'll fill the gap, I'm sure. And if they're not, they'll be listening now, hopefully.
Everyone
think,
watches
oh,
this,
yeah.
mate.
Obviously.
Worldwide.
He's basically just a remold of Ragnarite, isn't he? So
Yeah, Ractonite, yeah. And then we've got Core Class Soundwave to go up against the Legends for Paul, which does come with a working tape deck that you can open up, but doesn't open with the button. The button is on there, but it's not actually a working button, so you have to just open it. But you can get little cassettes for it as well.
Cool.
It does look like very similar to the hot soldiers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
blocking
put
us.
The legs,
Jamie-
the legs specifically as well.
Jamie was talking, I think it was before the show, about the fact the selects boxes, which are very dull normally, that they're kind of upping the game a little bit. So that's the inside of that.
Just on the inside, though, not
Yeah.
the outside.
Well,
Adamant
I
there's gonna
know,
be
but you
two
could still kind
colours.
of display it with that, couldn't you? I mean, that's
That's like,
incredible artwork.
RC and was it Repugnus? And
Yes.
the third one, they had these amazing boxes where you opened them out and had the headmaster and stuff and all the graphics, but you couldn't display it like that because it wouldn't really display.
Trax in his flying car mode again.
His third mode. So he's got three modes.
First
Trax,
triple
the first
changer.
triple changer. Yeah.
Same.
Dinobot.
Oh, ring finger or whatever he's called.
Ring
Just-
finger.
It's like if that's his
Ring
mouth, it
finger,
just like
something
looks
else
like he's
you
going
might buy from another store.
I think it's supposed to be like a dinosaur ninja. Did they say with twin bone swords? And it just looks,
A dinosaur transforming
Oh,
ninja.
God.
It does sound like something
to me, it's like
8-year-old me would
comparing.
love.
It's like
They called
comparing
them
G1
Shinobi
Transformers
then.
to GoBots. It's just, and
I mean,
again,
wing finger's not exactly the most riveting name, is it?
not really. And then we
Well,
had the group shot to finish off with.
And the big question was, why is Wheeljack? And I think it's because Wheeljack is a new release, isn't it?
I think whoever was taking the photos, and they did a very good job, they look fantastic, but I think they were probably told, and at the end, do a big group photo, and he used Wheeljack for some of the shots with that ring
Yeah. But
thing, whatever it's called.
But no. He used the shots of Will. Go on, Joe.
They used, as Andy pointed out, there's some shots of Wheeljack using the wing finger as an armor, and Wheeljack was also used for Teletran 1 to give an idea of scale. But Wheeljack was in the original Kingdom poster, Toybox Soapbox mentioned this, and other people have said that he was scheduled, could be scheduled for re-release like RC was, and Astro Train even as well. And even the Prime, isn't there? A new Airfry's Prime came again in the Kingdom, so that could be the reason.
And it's worth mentioning that all of these reveals, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie, but all of these reveals are available now if you're a Hasbro Pulse
Apart from
premium
Wheeljack.
member, apart from Wheeljack.
Yeah. The one which we're skeptical about, because I'm skeptical. What's he doing there?
And from 10 o'clock on last Friday night, they were available to everybody else, so you can pre-order them.
And the core figures, the two
And the core figures, yes.
Yeah.
So Mark
seemed a bit dismissive.
actually took a picture of Mark showed a picture of Wheeljack as well, didn't he? He shared when he did Teletram. He showed in his hand Wheeljack as well.
Yeah.
Do you wonder, did he take the photograph? I don't know. Maybe.
No, I think
they-
they've got a diorama guy to do it.
Yeah, they thanked somebody. I can't remember his name. It was something like Corey or something
Yes.
like that. And they
Corey,
mentioned his
but,
name
yeah.
several times.
But it did seem a bit dismissive of the core figures. And you can get the core figures if you want. No, we'll put them out in the store, $10. Why
They
would
know
you
they're
say
not
no?
where the money is.
Yeah.
I think she said
You
something
can
like, "Oh, anybody would pick this up for $10."
You can imagine that wing finger. You just, like the first one. Oh my god! Look, it's a dinosaur ninja superhero. He just saved that woman.
But Alexis,
What's your name?
did you
What's your
say
name,
it
sir?
wasn't a dinosaur. Don't you do your dinosaur quizzes where you
What is
say,
it?
actually, they're not
Lovely.
dinosaurs, Jamie? And I go, really, Alexis? And then you're going to explain why.
What's your name, sir? Wing finger. that would be funny. That would be TV gold.
It's time for FansToys Innuendo!
So what are they? If they're not dinosaurs, Alexis?
What? Pterosaurs? They're flying reptiles.
Right,
They're
boys.
cousins.
So this is a picture from FansToys, the Facebook group, and I have subtly changed the image over to a picture here of Ainsley Harriott. Yes, who had sex last night? Look at cheeky Ainsley. Oh, who's that? What Transformers hiding behind that, lads?
Hound.
Correct.
Can I just ask? Is Ainsley Harriott any
Is that a clue?
Is it anywhere in existence like that is actually a tenuous link
As
to whatever.
every week, it is the
Always
yes,
linked.
it's always linked.
No, it's not.
It is.
Right. Okay, Ainsley Harriet.
Just a
Right.
box set of Hound and Spike.
That should be in the background. Hound, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
The Hound Pound, pounding from hounding.
I'll send you that clip, mate. You can add it in later.
What is the below his chin? Why does he always look so rapey?
Is it kale? Kale?
Yeah, it's a bit like kale.
Spinach?
It's foliage. And what
Foliage?
if you were out in the garden,
Foliage?
what could you,
You mean
find?
foliage?
And foliage as well, if you're from the north or where people speak.
I don't drink enough of
It
this
might,
show.
maybe it's pronounced foliage, and I've
Yeah,
just
that's what I said. Where people speak in the north. So, what would you find on foliage?
Insects. So insecticons.
insecticons.
Da, 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 da. Oh, wrong way. Sorry. Da, da, da.
Was it her? Oh my
Was it
God.
her? Because she did. What I was saying when
She's in
she
quite
did get
a
excited,
happy
well
pose,
excited
isn't
at a
she?
few points.
You paused
Yeah,
that.
well,
yeah. That's when she was
Paul
feeling
shared
her
the
big.
wrong screen there.
Da,
I want
da,
hands
da,
up the table
da,
now,
da.
Paul. Right.
I think I've done this one before.
I think you have, because I think we discussed why.
Why hasn't he got a head?
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, because
Yeah, such a good one, though.
Yeah.
Such a good
Such
Yeah.
a good one.
It's certainly
Wow.
not a cock up.
So we've come full circle on FansToys Innuendo. We're now going back
Circle of life
through.
is now complete.
But you
Because when
started.
it's
You,
on my
start,
phone, it's quite small. And,
Circle
my
of
phone.
life.
Right.
you got a Zoom, mate. You
You're
do it
on
on
Zoom.
mine. You do it when I post a picture of something I ask a comment on, and you freight me on that as well.
What?
A picture
What
of
do
Ant
you-
and
what?
Deck. I
Say
took a
what?
picture of both two dinosaurs and said who's better looking, and you stick a picture of Ant and Deck and go, there you go. I'm going,
Oh, I did do that.
I said it was Jamie, just to be clear.
Right.
But I thought you meant just generally.
On to pickups. Who would like to go first? Who got a
pickups?
great pickup? It's already it's the winning
I'll-
time.
I'll
We're only
give you
3 hours
first.
into the show. Go on, Jane.
Is that
What
all?
I got this week was, which I'm quite happy about, is I managed to get this figure individually, Scrounge.
Hey.
Cool.
You know, so I got him for about £16, including postage, and I'm quite delighted because obviously I've got the Takara box set of the Technobots, but unfortunately he doesn't come with Scrounge, and I didn't really want to buy another box set to get this figure. So yes, absolutely fantastic little figure, brilliant, and I think he does the mold, you know, much better than Cosmos, to be honest.
Mm.
And obviously he comes complete, so that was fantastic.
Nice.
Also this week, I got issue 28 of Transformers. You know, so I am Warworld. It's actually starting to, you know, the last 2 issues, it's starting to heat up now. There's actually action starting to take place.
is that the Secret and Lies sort
So,
of saga?
It's Transformers. You know, so it's just the main line comic. Secret and Lies, Alexis, that's completed, and there was 5 issues in that, but they've released an omnibus version, which is just 1 volume, which has the 5 issues plus extra content where they talk about what gave them the ideas, what they're related to the first like issues like Man of Iron or Face of Iron or something like that, the original Transformer comics. I also got this week G.I. Joe infantry figure. So these are really hard to come by, but they're starting to come in now. I'm waiting for my order to come in from Sona Toys, so hopefully that'll be there in about a month's time. So I would have some more army builders, more troops.
I was going to say, is that why they're hard to get?
Yeah, but I think G.I. Joe figures tend to be hard to get this now anyway, just because I don't think they're producing enough of the stock, and it's hard to get into the UK until Hasbro Pulse obviously came onto the scene, but they sold out really fast, which is strange because they sell it really fast, then you almost see them instantly getting filled up in eBay at almost 3 times the value of the price. But yes, they have been a bit tricky to get, so it's good to see a lot of buyers starting to be able to get it because of Hasbro Pulse and because a lot of the stock's starting to come in now. So I think I should be hopefully getting Zoltan from Collector's Den, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Firefly at a later date, later time from Collector's Den as well.
Is that the 6-inch figures you now? Because
Yeah,
obviously there's
that's-
there's 3.75 and 6. Are you collecting both or?
Yeah, I'm collecting both. I'm collecting both. When the Hasbro Pulse thing today, I was a bit confused. I've ordered the 6-inch figures, but they were showing some figures before that, and I think that might have been the retro figures, but I'm just not sure. But they look quite good, but I haven't seen them on the Hasbro Pulse website. And that is me entirely finished.
Cool. So I was going to ask. I was just going to quickly ask: the ones which are rare, is it all generally GI Joe are quite rare, or is it just the 6 inches which are quite rare?
I think they all tend to be quite rare. You know, I think when they're like, especially when Snake Eyes and Baroness and Storm Shadow were released.
Storm Shadow, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of sold out, and again, people find it hard, you know, because the trouble is a lot of retailers were selling them in packs of 8. And I think the thing with the UK was keeping the prices quite low, and I managed to get them from people in the community at, you know, at cost value. But when I look at them at legitimate shops, even in Europe, they were selling them like for ridiculous amounts of money, and you were forced to buy as a pack. You know, you couldn't just get one; you had to get all 3. So it's been a bit tricky for the GI Joe figures, which collectors out there.
Cool. Right, I'll go next if that's cool. I got a Panini. We're getting weirder with this. A Panini.
I've got that
album, which you can get for free at Sainsbury's.
Yeah, I think my dad got it free with a newspaper, and I went around to pick
It's
something up
last
from him, and he
year's.
said, "Yeah, I've got this for you."
Yes,
it's not.
last
It's this
year.
year. It's happening this summer.
But
It says
amazing.
2020.
They're not going to reprint it. It cost them a fortune.
So yeah, got that, and I got an M.2 NVMe drive for my computer, 1 terabyte, which has given me an absolute hard on because I've got so much space and it's so much quicker now.
I'm so glad there's no photos of that.
Yeah, but so yeah, get the
Which
M2 shit.
part?
Not the
hard
terabyte.
part
It's
or
hard
the-
on.
Is the hard drive, not the hard on? Hang on. Did I get the right way around?
I'll show you. Right, who would
Let's
like
have
to
a
go next?
comparison.
Transformers the
And,
show nights.
Actually, yes. Yeah.
Still
I'm
makes me
scared,
laugh.
but I want to say yes. I want a comparison.
Baywatch After Dark. Right, you can go next, Alexis.
Okay, very easy. I got one pickup. I got MMC Cosmos. So I bought this off a very kind gentleman on one of the groups, and the challenge is that as he went to pack it up, paid for it, goods and services, but I'm sure he would have done the same thing anyway. The middle broke, and apparently the middle part of this bot, the waist, have some QC issues. So it broke. I got a refund, and I said, "Well, why don't you write to MMC? Because I write to them if something breaks, and they're normally quite good at coming back to you. And if they've got parts, they normally send them to you at no charge." So he wrote to MMC, and then a couple weeks later, he messaged me literally yesterday and said, "Yeah, I got the parts. Do you want it?" I went, "Yeah, I'm in." So because it's a good price. So literally, the next day delivered it to me today. So I haven't got it out of the box yet. I haven't had a chance to. But yeah, so this is there was X Transports, Kaluta, and there's MMC Omni. Yeah, that's right. Which is Cosmos. So this one's a bit smaller. Yeah, really good. So MMC, I mean, I've had something go wrong before, a couple of times before, from QC potentially, and they do fix it. They're quite good. So that's it.
Cool. Have you transformed Unicorn yet?
Yeah, and I put him back into planet mode as well.
Yeah. Join us
Wow.
next
Under
week
20
where
minutes,
Alexis
didn't
still
you?
hasn't transformed him. Right.
It's a good job that it's not like Pinocchio. They knocked his camera over by now.
Cool. Right, Andy.
Was it me?
How did you get on, sir?
Again, it's strange. It's been such a quiet week. I got 2 things that were a surprise because I wasn't expecting anything this week. And the first thing that I got, actually, I'll show that next. The thing that arrived today that was a complete surprise was all 5 issues of the Transformers versus Visionaries comic book. So I've been rabbiting on. And surprisingly, Claire was paying attention, and I was rabbiting on about how I wanted to try and pick up the omnibus type volume of all this, even though I've heard criticism of it from Transformers fans and criticism of it from Visionaries fans. But because I obviously like both those franchises, I wanted to have a look and decide for myself. And anyway, she found somebody, I can't remember whether it was in the groups or on eBay or wherever, and she got them all for a tenner. So they arrived this afternoon. I haven't had a chance to really have a look through. I've had a quick flick through the first issue, and it looks good. I like the artwork, but I do know that they've changed things, and they've changed the design of some of the visionaries, so they're not quite as I'll remember them from the 80s. But that's fine because you've got to modernize, haven't you? But I'm looking forward to reading that. Have you got it, Jamie? That that particular issue?
No, I haven't even read it. I might actually look for it now, to be honest.
I think they get the omnibus version for about something like £10, £11 from Amazon. Because that was what I was planning to do, but she's obviously bought it. That's why I've just realised that's why she kept putting me off every time I said, "Oh, I think I might just buy it." "Oh, well, leave it for now, and we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll get it later on." Why? Why can't I just buy it? And now I know why, because she bought them for me. And then the other thing that arrived was also from Claire. And thank you once again to everybody in the TF UK Facebook group and Transformers the Show Facebook group for their wonderful suggestions for Crap Transformer Corner, which resulted in me receiving this.
Oh, Claire, you have outdone yourself.
Now, I'm going to share something with you now, if you don't mind, or at least I'm going to try to. I'm going to have to move you all because I've got you all down at the bottom of the screen. I'm just going to shift you to the side.
Technology time. Take notes, kids.
Oh, Alexis, you can be quiet. So, here we are. So, this is Rachel the Animorph. Now, I didn't really know much, if anything, about Animorphs. So they were a very short-lived small line of Transformers in 1999, I think it was. So they are counted as Transformers, and they're basically humans that turn into animals. They're a human-animal hybrid, and Rachel, that's her official name, transforms into a lion, and it's frigging awful. Now, this is an incomplete version. It's missing bits that cover the human hands in its lion mode. But dear God, whoever came up with this idea, it's just so bad.
Oh, it's horrendous.
So bad. I mean,
it reminds me of. Do you remember there was that Beauty and the Beast thing back in like the 90s? Like where the Beast lived in the sewers under New York City. It's that.
It's so bad.
Nice.
I'm not sure if I want to collect Transformers anymore now.
It's put me off life. And it really is that. I'm sure there's somebody somewhere who is a fan of this, and if you are, then stop it. Stop it now.
Get help.
Why has she got a really manky face and a really normal face? Can you twist
because hang on, I'll stop sharing for a second. I mean, you can read, those of you who are watching at home, you can read all this at your own leisure. Go on TF Wiki. This is all TF Wiki. God bless TF Wiki. Love that thing. I love the little bits they put under the photos on TF Wiki. I guess she's a main character. God, which kind of sums it up really. But yeah, she's basically got a face mask, and so
it's funny how she transforms into a male lion, isn't it?
This is it. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I guess they thought, well, if we just turn it into female lion.
Well,
so it gets
make even less sense now because he's going hard panther. Not hard lion.
You can pull. It's a bit knackered, this one, because you see it's flicking down and it reveals the human face. My daughter took one look at that face and she was telling me it was going to give her nightmares, literal nightmares. And it's
just think about Paul. He can literally see the hands in front of the figure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad.
I won't be picking that up.
Bad. And yeah, it's. You know what? We've had some interesting crap Transformers. I actually have had not abuse. That wouldn't be the right word, but I've been told off for calling some of the Transformers I've received on Crap Transformers Corner crap Transformers. And in some cases, I can accept that. Wide load, for example, G1 wide load.
The Rock Lord
should never have been in there. The Rock Lord, excellent. This thing is just, it's just.
Oh no, that's not right.
So, Alexis, you know what you're getting for Christmas.
This is. I mean,
somebody will put in the comments, "You've not transformed that correctly," and you're probably right, but I don't care.
This is This is what
£2, another £2 purchase.
This is what My Little Pony crossover could have been like, right? And they go, "Oh, do you remember those
You're giving us nightmares
from the 90s, right? Yeah, we could do My Little Ponies like that." And someone's went, "No, get out, get out."
There was I can't remember what it called. It wasn't Animorphs, but it was humans that transformed into like cars and stuff, and it's quite grotesque. And you see
yeah.
the
The thing is,
cartoon.
Animorphs I've heard of before, and
Yeah.
that's like a corner. This is the great thing about fandom and Transformers and everything.
And Japan.
You still, even now, after all these years, can find something that you didn't really know anything about, and
And it
find out
scares
something
you.
new. I mean, obviously, it's terrible and awful, and but again, there will be parts of our fandom who absolutely freaking love that thing.
It's almost like a talisman from last year, that figure, isn't it? Represents what that whole last year was like.
And I'm calling it crap, but it's actually wonderful, and it's yours for 20 quid. I'll stick it up on eBay, so knock yourself out.
Did you have anything else, mate?
No, that was it. That was it for now. I look forward to having more to show off next week that isn't that.
So on to Rohan's corner now, and he's having a look at the Titan class ARC. So Rohan, it's over to you.
Rohan.
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 Thanks guys, hello everyone and welcome back to Rohan's Corner. And after a short while of not a lot of updates on Transformers news for a few months, we've had a stellar week, which you've seen in the news section earlier in the program. And there are some big announcements. We've got the ARC, we've got a new Scorpion ARC, we've got bits and pieces to go with the ARC, like Teletran 1 and so on and so forth. And it's starting to ramp up. A lot of people are getting very divisive about whether or not they like the ARC and if it's a good figure and whether or not they'll be picking it up. Very similar to the way in which people were reacting to the Kingdom Rodimus Prime character toy. So what are your thoughts? Do you like the new ARC? Will you be buying it? $150 RRP is quite a lot. Some people like the fact that it transforms into the last Autobot. I'm not so fussed about that. That character means nothing to me. Personally, I would have liked a playset where I could put my Legends class figures inside and open it up and reenact some of the movie scenes, and especially would have liked the capability to break apart or divide the ARC into the various different subdivisions that we had in the movie when Ultra Magnus took that decision to...
Then that's exactly what they're gonna see. Prepare for emergency separation. That's too dangerous.
Subdivide the ARC into the shuttle portion so that they could escape from Galvatron and the Armada that he was bringing upon them. So yeah, those elements would have been nice. As it goes, it does look like it's got good sort of stylization and some nice bits to it, but obviously by transforming you lose some of those elements due to that gimmick, and probably you can't open it up and place figures inside it and so on and so forth. Even though it does have a ramp that comes down so you can drive characters up into it, that's quite nice. And I like the blast effects for the rocket launchers, which is pretty cool. My big thing for me would be, if we're going to get an ARC, are we going to get a Nemesis? Because if I've got one, then I'd like to have the other.
Ignition. Contact. Blast off.
Because the two sort of go hand in hand for me from More Than Meets the Eye. And then I'd like to have a Revenge as well to...
And this shall be your ship.
Sort of fit in with all of the various different bits and pieces. And with HasLab Unicron, they actually provided a mini ARC, and you know, this is obviously a much larger version, which is probably on par with the HasLab Unicron's alt mode, to be honest with you. So scale wise it doesn't really work. However, at the same time, you know, if we got a Nemesis, that what would that transform into? I don't know. Probably they'd have to create something like the Last Decepticon or something along those lines. Maybe Psykill, that would be funny, or
We'll take them by surprise.
or Shockwave because of the color scheme. Who knows? What are your thoughts? Would you like to see a Nemesis or a Revenge toy? I know we saw the Purple Potato Revenge toy that turned into Shockwave. I wasn't a fan of the robot mode, but the alt mode was very nice, but at £100. And I'm not sure how it scales up against the Ark. It's probably a lot smaller, being a sort of Voyager / MP size class figure. So, that's my bit for this week on Transformers on Rohan's Corner. I hope you've enjoyed it. Speak to you all again next week. Take care. Back to the studio.
Hey boys, we've been rumbled. Well, let's bounce.
Thanks, Rohan. That was awesome. Right, on to our discussion. And tonight we're having a look at Shattered Glass and the bits of lore and Transformers that don't maybe get as much screen time. So I guess the first bit is, what do you think of Shattered Glass? Do you think that's an area you would love Hasbro to expand into? Or is there other areas like Beast Wars or Beast Machines or Beast Buddies, Beast Friends, Beast Bros, which you'd like to
Beast Buddies and Beast
I may have made some of those up. But is there anywhere else in which Hasbro aren't concentrating on you'd like to explore? So who would like to go first? What do you think about Shattered Glass, Jamie?
Go on, Alexis.
I quite like. I think with Shattered Glass, I don't really have any ownership over the characters, but what I do find amazing about them is the striking colours. I just like when you look at Optimus Prime, this sort of purple, this sort of broken windscreen aesthetics. I mean, it's striking and it's wonderful, beautiful colours. Something which you wouldn't normally see in the Autobot, and it's nice to see a sort of brighter take on the darkness and evil rather than a generic black, darker shade of black. It's just so it's good just seeing these different shades of colours. And Ratchet to me is absolutely gorgeous, and it's a pity that a lot of people were buying Ratchet, the Shattered Glass version, just to paint them so they could have the normal Ratchet, which was really hard to find. And the one thing about watching the Hasbro Pulse reveal of Shattered Glass Blah is for the first time as a UK individual, it felt like, my God, we don't need to rush to wait for the pre-orders to come out or start looking at foreign websites to see if we have to get this guy in import stock. For the first time, it felt like, yes, we could actually order this stuff from like Hasbro Pulse and the other UK websites, which hopefully can feed off of Hasbro Pulse better now, because that stock is definitely coming to the UK. So to me, I felt like that was quite unique and quite strange. I suppose to still have other sort of like exclusives, but so when you're seeing some of the Shattered Glass line coming out, and as we've already discussed, they'll have comics, meaning people like myself who maybe have no attachment to Shattered Glass will be buying the comics and looking at what the stories of these new Shattered Glass characters will be like.
Because these stories are like spotlights, aren't they? Like you had the Spotlights series from IDW. And from what they've said in that Hasbro Pulse FanFest, that's basically what each one will be from the point of view of whichever character it is. And I think they said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they said that if you order through Hasbro Pulse, each of the toys comes with a copy of the comic and with an exclusive cover on the front, which I think they said was designed, well, certainly the Blur one, by Casey Kohler. So, it's another thing to make you kind of hook you in and get you interested a little bit, because Shattered Glass was TFCon, fun publications and everything when it all started, and it did get really popular. It seemed to capture people's imaginations. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of it. Not that I'm against it. It doesn't appeal to me as much. But I do like some of the ideas they have for the color schemes that they give to some of the figures. I think that Blur that we saw, it does. I'm more interested in that Shattered Glass Blur than I was in the 86 movie line. Me too. It'll be interesting to see what the other figures are, because we have already had leaked, haven't we, that we're getting a Shattered Glass Jetfire. So how's he going to look in, those Shattered Glass colours? That would be really interesting.
What are you thinking, Alexis?
I've only owned one Shattered Glass figure, which is the MP10 Prime. I bought it because it almost, to me, it looked like Battle Damage Prime, because it had the windscreen and all that, and it was like, I used it as my sort of prime fight in the Battle Megatron initially. Took some shots doing that, but I didn't know anything about that whole SG universe at all. I watched it as a lot of people do, the Chris McFeely basics on Shattered Glass Prime sort of thing, or I think it was might be Nemesis Prime. It mentioned about Shattered Glass Prime, and Yeah, I didn't realize they were the good guys. Till you read the actual, I read the piece that comes with MP10. It obviously talks about the all sorts of being the bad guys, and I think it's a really nice way to branch out. Hasbro have been quite brave and flipping it around, and obviously it's not just them doing it. You've got New Age, which do a lot of the Shattered Glass. So in Legend scale, they've done the Megatron, or the Energon Megatron, which is a Galvatron mold. They've done the Soundwave as well, haven't they? Which is the good guys. So there's a number of Shattered Glass characters which I know nothing about, and it's like, and I think when you mentioned as well when they did the reveal yesterday in Hasbro Pulse, it was all around. They said they're going to focus on in the IDW comics. I don't know if it was the IDW comics or IDW comics style, like a follow-on next stage. And I thought it'd be really cool to have like a whole new universe in this sort of area, because again they could really break the mold that they're currently doing. And again, I know we have frustrations around the media that the limitations about how far they want to push boundaries, and straight away they said about the Blur character hunting down the heroic Starscream. Just funny saying it.
Yeah.
And who's got the sort of like, trying to displace their corrupt political power and stuff. It's like it sounds really interesting, quite dark. And again, it's not something that we would be as a storyline or a mythology. We wouldn't know what happens, right? The book's unwritten in my eyes. So I don't know how far you've explored it, guys, but I think
it's a cliche, isn't it? That loads of people explore, loads of writers explore. If you look at Star Trek, it's often credited in modern media really going for it with their mirror during the 70s, looking at what it looked like if you flipped everything on its head and made everyone good bad and everyone bad good. But even when you look at the comics, there's Superman. He's got his opposite, Judge Dredd. He had his opposite as well. 2008, he had loads of sort of mirror type episodes, so it's quite an entrenched thing in terms of storytelling, and quite an easy thing to go to. And often when you have a something like Transformers, which is so big and so much media is out there, some of it quite questionable, but there is a lot of media, you can't think it's odd that it took so long to get there, and it took a BotCon to publication to get it. So it wasn't really Hasbro either driving it either, and now Hasbro are reaping the benefits, aren't they? Because obviously getting a lot of sales from the Shattered Glass line, or the my mate had a DVD and I used to get confused. It wasn't actually anything to do with Transformers, called Battered Ass, which was a special DVD for my friends. Oh, here's Andy back to talk about Battered Ass.
But there is science behind it as well, because the universe, they said that the physics say there are at least 4 known alternative universes, and one of them was, so there's the mirrored universe, and then you've got the.
They don't say what those universes are. They just think there's a theory, isn't there, by Chapman?
Yeah.
There's multiple universes.
And you've got doppelgangers, haven't you? Everyone says it's doppelganger, right?
Well,
But
every single version of you that there could be. So there's a version of you now that looks to the left, and there's a version of you in another a universe that looked at the right, and then there's another version of you in another universe which looked at the right, and Andy looks at the left, and it goes on ad infinitum.
There we go. There's one where we're not YouTube sensations like we are today.
No, there isn't.
We were talking about Battered Ass. Andy. See, how he laughed. You two did
when
not.
are we
I
ever
said
not?
it.
It's always about
that.
Battered Ass.
I've been saving it up all show.
Do you think this is going to open the door, though, to, again, like the more niche areas of Transformers, that they're going to start actually moving away from G1, some would say finally, to start going into areas and versions of Transformers that we've had that maybe haven't had a chance to shine again?
Well, looking at Blur, the shattered version of Blur, he's a step away from the normal Shattered Glass figures in the sense he's got a different face sculpt, hasn't he?
Yeah.
They're looking quite different. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Shattered Glass figures that might not even have the same mold.
Do you think they'll be in the Kingdom show? The Kingdom
well, that's
show.
the thing. I think when we saw Blur, the thing it's almost like you don't know what they're going to come up with now. This could be new stuff which we have not seen before, instead of rehashing over new stuff. There might be still familiar anchors they're using, like the Shattered Glass universe, but new characters coming from it. And I think with the Beast Wars thing, we're definitely going to see some new characters which are introduced into the comic. I would hope so. So it'd be just not like the fossilizers, but something which is a new transformer which we can physically grasp. And I think, yeah, imagination's, you know, not going to be holding them back anymore. I think.
Who would you like then? Who would you actually want? Because I don't know any Shattered Glass characters. So when I saw Blur, it was like the first time I ever saw him, and again Jetfire. Again, you mentioned the first time. So the only one I knew was Prime, and then obviously I've seen Ratchet because I saw the 2-pack sort of thing. But who would you guys want? Have you got like a top 3?
Shattered Glass Octane.
Shattered Glass double dealer. Although how would that work?
You were just saying your favourite
plays every
Transformer.
Exactly, it's all it is.
Shattered Glass, the Photobots, and uniquely the Autobot powers. In fact, they would look so much alike, they would just be like the Photobots.
I think it's such a difficult thing because Shattered Glass basically literally just flips everything on its head, and all the Autobots are evil and all the Decepticons are good. So it's, you know, you're not going to get a lot of surprises other than the color schemes that you get for them and kind of like obviously the background for them. And I think it's quite an interesting way of doing it. I think when the TFCon comic books, the fun publication ones, they did like a crossover where some of the, I think the Shattered Glass ones, either they ended up in our universe, or you know, our Autobots and Decepticons ended up in their universe. It was something like that. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think we'll see Shattered Glass in the Kingdom cartoon or anything like that. I don't think we'll see it dipped into there. I think this is a separate thing that they're doing. I think Jamie's right that when you look at what they're doing with the actual figures, it's going to be more than it was before when we've seen ones that are just repaints. Basically, this is putting more effort, if that's the right phrase, into it. It's like, you know, the different head sculpts that are more individual. The Blur one, I think the version of Blur that we've seen previously was more based on the Armada one, but again, somebody who knows probably more about Shattered Glass than me might correct us in the comments. But I've certainly seen a Shattered Glass version of Blur that was the Armada toy, you know, in the different colors. I think it'll be interesting to see what the other 4 are. We already know one of them, supposedly it's going to be Jetfire. What the other 3? So
nice.
We're going to get another Shattered Glass Prime, a Shattered Glass Megatron, or Galvatron.
It does look like it. It does look like they've thought it out a bit more, as you said, Andy. They've actually given it a little bit more consideration and thought about it. Just to round up the 4 of us, I'd like a Shattered Glass Overlord. I thought that
would be interesting. Heroic
that's
Overlord.
Really nice.
No, he'd be like the
Supreme
Thunderclash.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
can you imagine the evil Thunderclash?
I was just kind of hoping for an oversized Astro Train. You know, I would have thought that would have been great.
Yeah.
And
that came up in the discussion, didn't it, Jamie?
Yeah,
somebody said about Gigawatt, and somebody said, "Oh, has anybody thought of using the Earthrise / Siege Astro Train as the Doc's train from Back to the Future 3?" And they kind of suggested that the designers had already thought of that, which means, you know, I think they said, "Watch this space in May" or something like that. At that point, I'll have to watch it back again.
When they say the designers mentioned it, do they mean that Mark was ruined one night drunk and scribbled it on himself?
His whole body is just.
They just come in, they feed him drugs, leave him in the room, and then look at what he's written on his body and go, right, do that.
Is that film Memento or something like that with Guy Pearce, where he throws it all over his, that's his body?
Awesome movie.
It's Mark.
Also,
use Hasbro's catalogue.
Digibass of the Ark as well, haven't they? As
I can't see your pictures you've drawn of the Ark. Oh, they're under my balls. Go down there, you'll see it. The future of Hasbro. Sorry, Alexis, you were saying something more.
I was just saying. Someone's also done talking about
reverse. It was like Shattered Glass, Alexis and Paul. I was saying something crude and rude, and you were actually being sensible. Oh, it's
Alexis making a serious point, and Paul straight in with, "It's under his balls."
It's the mirror universe. Go on.
Someone did a Digibass, didn't they, of the Ark as Tidal Wave, which
Now that looks good though.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd buy that definitely, because I love a bit of Tidal Wave. I've got the Energon version. I love the colours of the Energon version.
And then you had Broadside, didn't you? Once you got Tidal Wave, people like Broadside.
You could get more of a scaled Broadside. I mean, we had Broadside in Titans Return. It wasn't a bad figure. I think the jet mode was a complete pile of gash, but the aircraft carrier mode was all right.
There's never been a good There's never been so the original G1 character probably is the best one. that's been
the
around.
character maybe, but the toy was terrible.
No, the toy is still the best one, I think, because again they have.
Titans Return robot mode
Titans
was
Return
immense.
is better than that.
No.
The all modes were wank, but the robot mode was well good.
Well, you can't have one. You got to have it good in all modes, right? You can't go, oh yeah.
The G1 Broadside was
like
crap
it.
in all modes. It was terrible in all
Like
modes.
a shit slipper.
Yeah, no, but it actually looked like an aircraft carrier. It looked like a plane, and it looked like a robot. Admittedly, it wasn't.
It did. It looked like a block that you could fold a couple of wings out. And, oh, it's a jet.
Admittedly, yeah.
Fold
It looked
something
like
down. Oh, it's an aircraft carrier. It was the minimal effort they could have made. Shall we give it articulation? Fuck no.
Give him really small arms.
I remember somebody
That's what
once
the
did a
kids
video
want.
and it was like, what's the most disappointing G1 Transformer of all time? And Broadside was like number one. And I cannot argue with that.
I don't know. I still think Wheelie.
Well, do you know what? It beat out Wheelie. I'm sure it did in that video.
Cool.
And Wheelie's terrible, but
He's
you know,
wank.
you take away that flap thing from Wheelie, it's passable as a Transformer. I mean, Broadside was just, and the character of Broadside is really interesting, of course, because he's he's a robot who gets seasick and he's an aircraft carrier and he's scared of heights and he's a balloon airplane, so he's basically useless.
Silverbolt Mark
I mean,
II.
if you're going to go into other universes and have other little areas of Transformers, it really depends, wouldn't it? Because everybody's got their own little things, like the original RID from the early 2000s. There's some people who really love that and want to see some of the toys and characters from that, brought back. I mean, Skybite's one we've had that's cropped up in generations already. I've already mentioned like Transformers Cybertron and that Unicron trilogy. I enjoyed elements of that. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but there's characters and toys from that I'd love to see done with the modern
Just give
engineering.
us Blaster.
Well, this is the thing. That's the only thing I'd say is I still feel like you need to finish off G1. If you're going to give us a Spinister that's one of the greatest deluxe toys we've ever had, then give us some friggin' throttle bots or something. Give us a blaster based off that Soundwave mold. Give us these figures that surely can't be that hard to
Get
do.
out your beard, man. Get
Mark,
that
you've got them in there.
Go in the beard. Get out. Right, cool.
The beard of truth.
The beard of truth. The beard of future robots. So we'll be back next week at 7 o'clock on the Saturday. Follow us on Twitter at TF Show UK. Is that right?
TF UK the show or TF Show the UK?
I think it's TF Show UK.
Jamie's staying silent. He's letting us suffer.
Sorry, I was actually just dreaming about owning the Ark. I was just thinking.
I'm sitting here dreaming about
No. Don't lie. You were thinking about Mark's beard.
Yeah, all over your face.
What's he going to pull out of it now?
Yeah, loads of arcs and rubbing you in them.
How do you mean about
Mark naked in the bathtub, just covered in different arcs.
That's it.
Well, I think we've all dreamt about that, haven't we?
It's like that American Beauty, but instead of rose petals, it's just arcs.
Mark,
It'd be
if you don't know who Mark is, he's someone who works for
you.
Hasbro, who does all their PR, like joins in, and he's an absolute fruitcake. But he's awesome. He's so passionate about Transformers, isn't he? But he's brilliant. But I'm not sure if he's a few
Watch our video
What was
of
my
the stream.
joke?
You'll see what we mean.
Yeah,
We need
What
to
was the
do a
joke? What was
Photoshop
the
of that.
joke? I was going to do a joke.
it
What
was
my
the
joke?
first thing we said, wasn't it, about Mark?
You're never funny, Alexis, so man. Come on.
I think I was going to say something like, "Oh, well, arc at you."
What's
Yeah,
that?
no,
Yeah.
actually, I'm going to
it?
give it to Jamie. He's right.
Was that it? What were we talking about? What was the subject? Was it the arc? Was it the arc we were talking about? I was something really funny lined up.
Yeah.
Keep telling us that.
Was it
I
funny?
can't remember what it is now.
Just say that. Just say you had something funny to say.
I should
We'll
really
laugh at
everybody.
it.
It was like
I would have
it
been
was-
hilarious.
Was it the best joke you ever said?
the wittiest, cleverest comment
No.
he's ever come up with?
No, but it was good at the time. I probably should have just fucking said it. Damn it, for fuck's sake.
Anyway, Jamie, what is the Twitter handle, just so people can actually find us and not?
TF Show UK.
Oh, sorry. In fact, I think I got it right. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, that's it. TF Show UK. And Transformers the show is this Instagram?
Yeah. Symbols.
It's the first week I've got it both right. So and also
Compare the meerkat, compare the market.
That's it, isn't it? It's like a modern day Oscar Wilde, Alexis. Right, if you go to Facebook, just search for Transformers the Show. That's our group. If you would like to join us there, there's plenty of people talking about Transformers, and TF UK is our home. So TF UK is the place to go on Facebook. Cheers for tonight. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
I want to drink wine.
I do a YouTube show with me mates.
Hello and welcome to Transformers the Show, number 65. On tonight's show, fuck, sorry microphone, punch the mic. I'm gonna fucking do this.
Pop the mic, right. Punch it. That's what we do.
Rohan.
It's getting worse. Like each week, it gets so much worse.
Hang on, let me double.
I want us to up our game. This. I want timpani next week and actual musical instruments.
We'll have drums.
Yeah. It's time for the Rohan Show.
We'll go with a whole piece of music, and then it has to be finished off. Let's see if Jamie can nail this. It has to be finished off by Jamie. Ready? Oh, he's fucked it up.
No, you didn't go.
Oh, sorry. Are we supposed to do that again? We've already done it. All right then.
Rohan.
Oh, the timing was off again. Never mind.
We'll do it again.
We'll get it right next week.
See, I thought Jamie did finish off by the eyes. I thought that was him like finishing off. I thought,
Jamie eyes.
That's a different take of finishing off. And
he's not saying no, is he?
Okay, 3,
Coming back.
2.
So, but isn't Rohan discussing something you wanted to
we need
Titans
to
Arc.
Yeah.
Yes, all right. I'll say it up now.
All right, go on then.
3, 2, 1. Thanks, Rohan. That's really good look at Titans Arc. So, right, now onto the discussion. Tonight we're going to have a chat about the bloody shattered glass part. Oh.
You have no idea what you're doing, do you?
I was thinking about having a wee. And that predominantly took over.
Do I have a pretzel?
Shattered glass.
I just thinking, I thought, what the fuck is it? The discussion time already because we smashed through it.
We smashed through the news and pickups and everything.
3, 2, 1. Thanks, Rohan. That was really good. Look at the Arc, the Titan class Arc. Right now it's time for our discussion, and tonight we're going to look at Shattered Glass, the world, the mirror darkly in the Transformers world. Alexis, take us away.
Can we go for a wee?
Do you know what?
I was just in the middle of the show. Hold it in.
He mentioned wee.
You know, I would like to do the Rohan
It can't be
properly.
that easy. It can't be that
Do you want to do it properly, Jamie, at the start?
Yeah, because I would like to do
mate.
because every time I try to do the Rohan thing, Alexis starts talking again. It's
Right,
like
let's do it again then. Shall we do it again? Who's going to go first? Let's get an order here.
Fuck, it's going to be good tomorrow.
Alexis, do the bottle and then not yet.
I've got practice still. I'll practice. Just get a good bit.
You're always premature, Sam said. Anyway, so you're going to go first, then I'll go in, then Paul comes in, and then once we all stop, moment of silence, Jamie hits us. But it's got to be quite, on the money, Jamie, all right? Are we ready?
Well, first, I'll say right, it's over to Rohan.
Yeah.
He's looking at Titans.
sorry,
okay. 3, 2, 1. Right now it's time for Rohan's Corner, and he's having a look at the Titan class Arc, which we're all excited about. So, it's Rohan's Corner.
I can't do it now. It's so laugh. I don't know.
Dribble.
How hard is it? Blow across the top of the bottle.
Do it now.
Wait.
Blow.
I got it. Rohan.
Are we doing that's the bit? Because there's like 10 attempts before we got
Why did you think you could keep doing it? Like, don't worry, I'll do it.
Just edit it all. It'll be seamless.
No, I'm not Spielberg.
Okay, yeah. Right. Sometimes it'd be funny, like going. I can't do it.
Do you want to do it again?
Am I?
Right.
Did I say I was going
light-headed
first? Then
now.
Alexis, then Paul, and then Jamie.
Okay, yeah, I got it now.
Okay.
Oh, you got it now.
3.
Oh, he's got it now.
No, I got it.
This doesn't feel like it's
I got it.
supposed to pay off.
Do it now. Go 3, 2, 1.
Oh, get a flute. 3, 2, 1. No, it's not that. I have to do the intro. Wait. 3, 2, 1. Dick. How are you going with the giggles? 3. 3.
Sorry. My eyes are watering. I'm sorry.
Right, compose yourself.
Right, cool.
We're professionals, goddammit.
I'm good. Yeah, good.
Right, so let's stop doing. Let me do the talking.
Now.
I'm practicing. I'm good. You can. I'll do 3, 2, 1. Don't know.
So,
Should have got him a primary school record.
3, 2, 1. Right, now it's over to Rohan for look at Titan's Return. It's not Titan's Return, it's a Titan, you dick.
Titan class
3,
arc.
2, 1. Right, and now it's over to Rohan. He's going to have a look at the Titan class arc. So, Rohan, it's over to you.
For fuck's sake. So laughing, I got these. How many times?
You're doing it really badly.
I think I can blow across this can and make a better noise right now, for God's sake.
I mean,
Just say Rohan. Fuck the goal.
Right,
Funny.
Just keep it
No, there.
It's too late.
Three.
Right, go on.
Right.
Right, cool.
Didn't work that time. Jay, look at Jamie trying to find his centre in his moment of zen. He's thinking, I work with academics.
Well, after this, I'm going for a wheel.
Right, cool. Right, yeah. Right, 3, 2, 1. Yodelly, 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 yodelly.
Arse.
Don't mess with Statham. Was it called throat singing?
I
I have no idea.
Wish you could do throat singing.
Nemesis
Black
Prime.
Nemesis Prime.
Nemesis
That's
Prime.
different.
I
Yeah.
always get them confused.
Different
I'm
origins.
corrupted by Unicron.
Isn't it a clone, or wasn't it in the? Was it RID cartoon? Or was it Armada? And he was a clone, a proto form that.
Save it.
But that's not Shattered Glass, so. I don't need to save it. Pouring one out for my homies.
Yo, back up.
Like
now,
that
give him
with
room.
Prince Harry, where he was did that
about to go
comedy thing.
boom.
Was it the Comic Relief? And he sat there with the Queen.
Oh, yeah.
And he just said, "Boom."
That was well funny, Harry.
It really was, though. That was
Standing in
brilliant.
the crowd of girls like an island. I see the one I want. I said, "Come here, cute." I flip him around and I work that booty. Work the body, work the body. Slow down, girl. You about to hurt somebody.
Oh my god, you're
Hold
so
up, yo.
white.
Leave that in. That's the intro bit at the very start.
Discount. 3,
Me, mama, mama, mama.
2, 1. No, nothing.
Yeah, I don't think he was deliberately trolling you. I actually think he needed to cough. You coughed and Paul just gave a look. And the best thing is on my screen, you actually were looking at where he was. So it just worked. Anyway. 65?
Yeah, 65. 3, 2, 1.